Welcome to the Islandstats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the Islandstats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the Islandstats.com football show team. Well, good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the Islandstats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Basin. Joining me, a co-host, Garrett Punchy Dill and Andrew Griffith. Gentlemen, first of all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
All good afternoon. Right. Well, let me just run down the results from the quarterfinal action that took place in the FA Challenge Cup, starting with Friday night. It was the Boulevard Blazers 3, PHC Zebras 4, and that was after extra time. Last night at the Bernard Park, it was North Village Rams 3, Paget Lions 1. And then today at the Wellington Oval, it was St. George's Colts 2, Devonshire Cougars 0. And up at the Police Field, it was Devonshire Colts 1, Crossroads 0. We're going to start off, obviously, with the game on Friday night where PHC scored in stoppage time. Boulevard scored in stoppage time. PHC scored again in stoppage time to send the game to extra time. A roller coaster night at the Rack, would you say, Griff?
I presume so. That had to have everybody sitting on pins and needles. But I think I saw Kyle yesterday finish game, and he said it was very windy, so the conditions did play a part.
Right. Punchy, what's your thoughts on a 4-3 Friday night at Devonshire Rack?
Oh, that must have been some game. I didn't get to the game, but I also spoke with Kyle Lightfoot last night down at the field, and he was telling me that he said it very strongly that they were terrible, PHC themselves. They didn't play up to their potential. What he didn't expect was Boulevard put up such a fight like that.
Right.
But he said, in teams, if a team's going to be champions, and those are the kind of games that they have to win. And my concern was, why was there so much extra minutes in that game?
Lord knows, we now get 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes of extra time sometimes.
Yeah.
And, now that they're with substitutions, you got a standard if it's 3 or whatever. And I think you get 5. So it's 30 seconds per. So
the goals add one.
Goals add one time. Yeah. And then injuries and, it all mounts up. The referee is now a timekeeper of to the point where it's stopping and starting a watch kind of thing. But there you have it. Do you think it was one of those things where maybe PAC left Warwick saying, "Oh, this is only Boulevard"? Could that have been a factor?
They could have been, yeah. That does happen. But again, adding to what Griffith said also about the conditions, with Boulevards, the way they play, we know for a fact they've not been doing very good in the league.
Right.
But on a Friday night playing on a Devonshire Rack, they came to fight. They came to really put an effort in. But maybe also, like you said, with their position in the league, PHC probably took them for granted.
Yeah.
But I think every season is one team near the bottom. For whatever reason, they get people back from injury or people been overseas or people been working. They get back players and they do a lot better than what the record says. And I think in the last few weeks, Boulevard's been that team that's been surprising us in getting goals and scraping out. So I think that team this year.
Well, the good thing for them, and I think we mentioned it in the last show, was that they would have 2 weeks to prepare for this game, where some of PAC's players would have been involved in the select team and all that other stuff, where Boulevard would have just been kind of resting up and getting ready for this game off their feet kind of thing. So, they gave it their all. They're out of the FA. Now they have to turn their attention to trying to survive the league. They have to give it one big go.
And it's also too, it's that little thing for the FA Cup. Throw out the
Yeah.
records, and every team thinks they got a chance, and they could do something special on the day.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let's turn our attention to last night at Bernard Park. I noted that Paget have been a thorn in North Village's side for the last 2 or 3 years. They've always seemed to give North Village trouble, even in defeat at times, but they always seem to give North Village that trouble. Was that a kind of a sentiment last night?
I think I answered the game, and it was despite the score, I think it was an even game that could have gone either way, because it was at 1-0. Towards the end of the game, Paget started to pile on pressure, and it looked like it was coming. And when they got it, they grabbed it, and they were good at it more, and they both had chances either way. But Village got that break, and it was also Paget got a goal ruled off offside, so that was a difference. And then once it was 2-1, they kept pushing to get the equalizer, and Village caught them on a break because the goalkeeper was up attacking and basically just ran down the field and hit it into an empty net. So it's closer than the score indicated.
What's your thoughts, Punchy?
I agree totally with Griffith, because in the last, before North Village had scored, I thought that if that goal wasn't called offside, we might have been talking about a different outcome on this game last night. But Paget really, in the last 10 minutes, they really piled the pressure on. And we saw it more clinical finishing. They could have probably tied the score when it was 2-1. Definitely. But overall, the game, like you said earlier, Earl, that Paget has been a thorn in North Village side, especially Don playing at the Park. Mm-hmm. The performances was really well. I don't know why they started off with Rollins at center again. Maybe it was to nullify Jonte and Jai. But as soon as he went up front, there was trouble. They caused quite a bit of trouble. But it's sad, they put in talking about Paget, they put in a lot of work. And that game, that 3-1 does not indicate how that game could go. And of course, let's say with North Village, the goals, there was quite a bit of goals that were like Jai Bean, who's coming back after being out for a while. He looks not his best, but he scored a great goal, the second goal, man. Or the third goal. The second goal, I'm sorry. And there was some misses. He missed, I wouldn't, if I use the terminology, sitters.
Yeah.
Hot box. Yeah, he did, right? We can use that. But again, he's been out for 3 months. He's just coming back. He got married. But you could see that he's still lethal. He can be lethal in any given time, which Paget don't have that. I don't think Paget have that type of finishing. Somebody who 2 players with John, and I think Jonte Smith is still struggling. I think he's struggling.
That player used to be Dio's level for Paget, but he can't play until he's 50. So they need other options.
And there were, that's very true. Yeah, Griff. And there's also a defensive thing that I think North Village did well too. They nullified Shakir Smith by putting Amir Deal at attacking wingback.
Right.
So they matched speed for speed on the outside. I think that was a smart technical move. Definitely.
That stopped Shakir from coming forward. He could match Shakir, pace. But again, there were still lapses where I thought with North Village in the center that Paget could have been in with. That game could have been a lot closer. Yeah.
There's one other thing. This is a game of luck sometimes too, because I asked Anthony Francis was the assistant referee that called the offside. So I asked him what happened on the offside. It was a goal mouth scramble that one of the players spoke to him, but he said there were 3 Paget players in that space that could have hit it. 2 were on side and 1 was offside. The offside player got to it first and hit it in. So he said it was easy.
Right.
Yeah. They did, I don't think Paget have that display. If they can also do that in the league now, that performance last night, I'm not really. I don't know what's happened to him in the league performances, but last night proved that they are, the team to, if anybody, like for instance, Devonshire Coastal got to play them, or PHC's got to play them, it's going to be really hard to beat that team if they play the way they played last night.
Yeah. Can you guys talk a little bit about North Village's defense of late? They seem to be very stingy in giving up girls over the last, I guess, month or so. They kind of, since they've been on a run of trying to challenge back into the title race, but they've been very stingy of late.
I was in last night. It was, I think, Terran's presence helped a lot. He hasn't been playing, so I can't say we choke it. Hold on to him, but it seemed a lot more steady with Terran Frey playing in the back last night.
Yeah,
which allowed that allowed Jalen to run more, because Jalen's been playing in his center there, but Terran dropped into that spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, that's right. That was discussed today, Griffith, about Terrence Frey's presence in the team, playing his calmness. He doesn't do a lot wrong. And then you play. They also dropped Tamai back, which is really important also. So there was, Terrence Frey adds a lot of stability into that back and calmness. And then you've got Jalen. And then on the outside, they played Amir. That probably is going to change in the next game where Amir will play higher. But being stingy, I think that's the concept that have been developed in North Village now. What's happening in terms of the work rate when they don't have the ball. And then you got maybe one of the islands, informed goalkeepers, which is Detroit. Mm-hmm. And, that helps also. But I think what the philosophy has been is that, speaking with my nephew and the coaching staff, is that they've put emphasis on the work rate and cutting down chances for teams, which happened against PAC also. PAC didn't have a whole lot of clear-cut chances. And that one exceptional thing done by Enrique that sealed the game. Mm. But yeah, if you notice North Village, look at the statistics in terms of if they've lost a game, it's only by the odd goal. Mm-hmm. So they have done the homework in terms of how they have adjusted now, turn it around in terms of, creating difficult moments for opposing teams. And I think it's helped them.
Right.
But I think also you're saying you're not sure where Jonte is, but I was pretty impressed with him last night, because when they sometimes had to release the ball low, he was pulling the ball out of the air, and is strong. And he wasn't losing the ball. And that let him stick the ball up high, and he was distributing it. So I thought that he was pretty strong in that area. Yeah,
I just still think that discussion about Jonte is that look at how many goals he scored since he's been back. I think it's not at his best right now, but he's still clever. He's very clever. He's very clever. Sometimes maybe a little bit too long on the ball. I don't think he's second guessing himself. I don't think so. But what's happened now with Jai Bean coming back, it's taking a little bit. He's not playing. It's not really, those goals that were going in last year, I'm not going in for Jonte now. So Jai Bean coming back into the team is helped him last night, really. Really helped.
Without Jai being there, it allows teams to key in on Jonte, so he didn't get as much space as when he had him with him last year. Another threat.
Yeah. The question I want to ask when we leave the subject, Griffith, we were both down there. Why was Tamai sent off? What happened?
I think he might have said a magic word, because they were saying the Patrick goalkeeper said a lot of magic words and just got a warning. And Tamai said one got sent off.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of discussion about that today in terms of that, because that was also spoken about this afternoon about the fact that Patrick goalkeeper was he was loud with his about his annoyance with the referee, but he never even got a card.
On Valentine's Day, I guess he allowed people to be more passionate.
I guess so.
All right, well, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the two matches that took place today. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Valentine's Day is about showing love in simple, thoughtful ways. Whether you're crafting the perfect meal at home or just looking for a sweet treat, at Lindo's, you'll find everything you need to make it special. It's easy to put something meaningful together at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Pages silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, at the Wellington Oval today, St. George's Colts defeated the Devonshire Cougars 2-0. A goal in each half ended the contest. But again, Devonshire Cougars and St. George's kind of match up really well against each other. It's just a matter of who comes out on top. St. George's was leading 1-0. Devonshire Cougars had a goal disallowed. And from the actual kick out, St. George's scored the second goal to make it 2-0. But when you look at that type of score and these two teams, remember they battled. Devonshire Cougars came back from 3-1 down the last time they played at Wellington Oval to draw 3-3. But just looking at that, Griff, what's your thoughts on St. George's advancing?
Well, I took a little bit of a gut punch because I had some faith in Cougars. I thought they could pull it out. So I want to say to Cougars, like, every time I believe in you, you keep pulling me down. So I thought it would be a close game. I didn't think that St. George's would run out as easy as they did. Maybe the score is flattering and doesn't indicate it, but I thought Cougars were playing better and would give them a go. But as we said before, St. George's seems to get up for cup games. So hats off to them and good luck in the next round. But I was a little surprised.
And the fact that they've had 2 weeks off to prepare, you give any team that much time. And Cougars had that same amount of time as well, but with St. George's playing at home and the luck that they've had over the last couple of weeks, last couple of years with cup games, they've been on a run. Punchy?
My concern would be for Cougars. With Cougars, I went and watched them last week, and up there at Police Field, and they were social beating 4-1. So in 2 games today, they conceded another goal. So in 2 games they've conceded 6 goals.
Yes.
They look. I've heard some troubling things about what's going on over there. Through the grapevine, Bermuda conversations. And it's not doing well. I heard players are not training. They're not, I think Mark, the guy who's in charge of the team is, I think he's a pretty good coach.
Right.
I really admire him because, I'm seeing what he's doing he come out of Andrews camp and his concept is good. I thought they were good, but what happens? I think, there's grumblings over there. There's, about, I think the players, I think that's what's happening with Cougars. It's I won't call it a players revolt, but the mentality over there is what I think is affecting Cougars now.
Right.
For especially to when I saw them against Social Club. Oh my God, they were just terrible. They were really terrible. And so now that will be my concern for them. Now they're out of the FA Cup, they're not going to win the league. Right. So what do they play for? Will players show up for training? And that will be my concern about any team that's like that, especially Bermuda. The mentality of the players. And even though you're out of competition, that you're not going to win a cup this year, I think the players have to have some respect for the club they're representing. And I think I just heard rumblings that's going on over there, you guys. Yeah. And it didn't sound very good.
Yeah. And I would say this is the time of year when if you have anything going wrong, whether it be coaching, tactical, injuries, or whatever, it gets amplified because that weather last night was miserable. It was raining, it was cold, it was windy. So if you're playing football, you really love it. Or you're a fan. Hats off to all the ladies that went to the game with the man on Valentine's Day. Yeah, you definitely love football if you get on last night.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, Griffin. I really do. I really do. I believe that because like last Sunday up there at Police Field, what it could be like that when the wheel comes up. The condition to win was, but I think Social Club really applied themselves better, and right. I just saw no fight with Cougars. And maybe you're going to be careful, like a team like that, which has talent, and you have a good coach that I think is doing well. His first year doing this, I believe, at the helm of Cougars at that job, right? Mm-hmm. He was assistant before, but I think like it's disappointing because they do have talent, and I think that what's letting them down is the mental approach to the game for them.
Yeah, well, Durande has won the battle of the Bascom Academy coaches for a second time, because remember, St. George's beat Devonshire Cougars in the Dundee final at Devonshire Rack,
That's right.
And now have knocked them out of the FA at Wellington Oval. So, I guess Durande has already talked all week at the youth training before they go senior training.
Durande earns Devonshire Rack, isn't it?
Oh wow! yeah. It is. You're right, you guys. It looks like it's got the number. Yeah. But again, with St. George's, getting back to St. George's about, it looks like the league position. There's no way they're going to win the league. You can cut that out. No. So what's next for them? And that's the FA Cup. Now they're in what? We're now in the semifinal. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
When is the draw? Tomorrow?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. But they do. St. George's, like Paget, do need some points on the board to get themselves away from, the revival of both Young Man Social Club and Boulevard, because of late those two teams have come on. Yeah. So with Social Club having an extra week off because they didn't have to play, Boulevard did play, but if they can find another rhythm, St. George's and Paget will be looking over their shoulder to see what's going on. So they need to find that form in the league to reassure themselves to be comfortable in the Premier Division. So there's a lot to play for.
Sounds like Tottenham Hotspur, doesn't it?
Well, you say the coach is going to get fired?
Sounds like the Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, they do. You can draw that comparison. Yeah.
In Europe, but lacking in the league.
Yes. What's most important? That would be a cause for concern. Consistency for them in terms of St. George's, And I've seen them play. It's not like when Norfolk beat them. It's not like they're not in the game. Yeah. Like I think that when things get hard and they can't figure out what to do next, I think that's what happens. When everything they're doing is not working, they got to come up with another concept or change their tactics. I think that's what they don't adapt well to.
Yeah, and it also comes to leadership on the field as well.
Mm-hmm. Good point, God. Yes,
you have to identify who's the leader on the field, because the coach can give the instructions, but somebody's got to lead. The tactics on the field of what you're trying to accomplish, and if things are not working, then that leader almost has to get the team together to change the tactics to make it work for them. But they have to identify it. And each team, you look around the league, certain players on teams take charge when things are not going right. And that's always a difference. They just need to find that leader on the field.
So I would say this is the time of year, with the last month of the season left, when teams are most vulnerable for the, I'll say, disenfranchised or fringe players or players with issues. That's when other teams will start picking up and say, hey, you're not happy? Come here. We'll make it for you. Because look at where Devonshire Coates is. Sonaj Mitchell was a St. George's Coates player. Now
Right.
Devonshire Coates, and Devonshire Coates is going for the league. So I'm like,
Right.
I'm going to go say, hey, you want another season fighting for middle of the table? You want to come to us? And we have a chance of winning the league. So they start.
But here, Sonaj had come from Coates, going to St. George's, not going back to Coates. So,
It was the discussion about leadership is very important too, in terms of we're gonna go up. We got 10 teams in the league. The leadership when you start looking at all the teams that in the league, and we're talking about leadership roles on the field.
Right.
We could start pointing out the names throughout the teams. About what do St. George's have leadership. And you're right. Yeah. Just like Cougars. I don't think like a Cougars, and we can go through what again with what and Earl, what we talking about with North Village. I think that they're a very senior team, but they got a lot of leadership qualities throughout the team.
Yes.
Right. I think that's how. But in some of these teams, which I saw with Paget last night, the leadership and things are not going right. There's a lack of leadership on the field.
Yeah.
That's what I believe happens. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what other thing we can't rule out though, I think, is also the leadership off the field, the club leadership. Because look what happened to Hamilton Parish. Hamilton Parish basically imploded. And
they're
got to come rise from the ashes again. So I think, look at also now St. George's. St. George's has had a turnover of president during the season. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of these things, the in-house leadership and management, it can affect what happens on the field.
Possibly, yeah. Possibility. All right, so let's move to the final quarterfinal match at Police Field. Devonshire Coates got a late goal, 86-minute goal, to get past Crossroads. I think we could clearly say that this season, Devonshire Coates has had Crossroads' number, and now they've got a spot in the semifinal. And for Devonshire Coates to be in the position of leading the league and in the semifinals of the FA, it must be, as a Devonshire Coates supporter, they must be over the moon, because if you'd have asked them where would they like to be on February 15th, leading the league and in the FA semifinal, most of them would have said, well, one or the other. They wouldn't have said both. Realistically, they wouldn't have said both. What's your thoughts, Punchy?
Good point, girl. Yeah, they wouldn't have said both. It's really surprising too, and the transformation from one year to the next. Mm-hmm. They're a difficult team to play against. Yeah. What it is, like today's game, it's probably a grinding game out. They probably grind that game out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the transformation of what's happened for them last year, and I think they've grown, they've matured, and then adding some other players to the team also helps quality. Mm-hmm. What they were missing last year, especially Sonaj. Sonaj, they were talking about how he scored these goals. Mm-hmm. They're in a good way. They're in a good way. And what's so good about all of this is that we're looking at the coaching staff of all these teams. Mm-hmm. We're talking about coaches that are coached at the national level, right? And which is coming to the fact when you look at like St. George's and of course Durande is a young coach, mm-hmm. But it's still very it's a very good in terms of what happens in terms of how these coaches set their teams up and how they can motivate their teams right now, especially this time of the year. Like Dwipper says, when the weather's not good, you got to play on a Friday night, how they motivate them, how they train. So it's coming down to that a lot. Yeah. It's coming down to that.
Griff, let me ask you, because you have Kyle helping with PHC, Ray with Devonshire Coates, Jerome with Dandy Tom. But the fact that Kyle and Ray both were in the national program got us to the Nations League Cup and all of that. Do you think that's playing a factor in them helping their team to grow?
A bit, but I think it's more because they got gray hair, which means they've been around for a while, so they've seen a lot of things, and they won't be fazed by different things that somebody younger can. So if you've seen it all before, you're not going to be surprised, and you know how to react to different things. I think the experience plays a big part.
Now you got Ray and Kyle looking in the mirror to see the gray hairs.
Hey, if they don't see any, it's because they're hiding it.
All right. Well, we're going to take our second commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to look at our picks and pick the new ones, and also we're going to have the discussion on the player and coach of the month. We'll be right back.
Looking for a lighter way to refresh this February? Try Viva Zero Sugar and Zero Calorie Sparkling Water with juice and antioxidants. It's a sparkling water with juice enhanced with antioxidants for a clean, refreshing taste. It's a great choice when you want flavor without the heaviness, whether you're at work, at home, or spending time with family and friends. Distributed by John Barrett & Sons and available at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, Griff and Punchy, we had the 4 matches picked, and
I think you got 4.
yeah, both of Punchy and myself got 4. Griff, you got 3. You took Cougars. That was the only difference. So Griff, you're on 79. I'm on 72, and Punchy, you're on 71. So let's look at the matches coming up this week. This is where the tide will turn, Griff. The tide will turn this week. Devonshire Cougars will entertain the Dandytown Hornets. I'm going with the Hornets. Punchy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going with the Hornets, yeah. Out there on out there at Devonshire Rack.
Devonshire Rack, yes.
Yeah. I think that game is, with what's going on with Devonshire Cougars, what I've heard about him through the grapevine. They're not in a good state right now. I think Dandytown on, and the push for the league, they need that victory. So I'm going for Dandytown on in that game.
Okay. Griff?
Yeah, after Cougars burnt me this week, I'm good. Dandytown by the old 6-pack.
You better be careful.
Yeah, whatever.
Yep, that's all way out there.
Oh, yes, he is. Yeah. Wow.
All right, Punchy. Devonshire Colts host Pageant.
I'm going to go with Devonshire Colts on that game. Up at Police Field. I think Devonshire Colts will win that. Just the momentum that they've created, getting to the the semifinals, the FA Cup. There's momentum there. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Devonshire Colts to win that game there, you guys.
Okay. Griff?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy. Devonshire Colts.
Okay. And I'm going to take Devonshire Colts as well. So if the first two go as we pick it, the league title race stays vibrant. Next game, Griff, you're up. Boulevard Blazers host the North Village Rams.
Again, I'm not going crazy. Village.
Okay. I'm going to take Village as well. And Punchy?
I'm going to take Village, you guys. We'll agree with that. That's a good fight, but I think Village will win this. They are really up for keeping keeping the fire lit on those teams that are above them, and I think they're going to be pushing for that. They're going to give it all. They're going to give it a good go. So
Right.
I'm picking Village for that.
Okay.
Where's that game?
Probably Devonshire Rack.
Devonshire Rack. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. The next game. Crossroads hosts St. George's Colts. This one should be interesting. St. George's need to win. Crossroads want to win. Get back onto a. Oh gosh. All right. Because they need the points, I'm going to take St. George's. They need to win this game. Punchy?
I'm going with you always. It's in the East End. They ain't got any trouble far to go over to St. David's.
Yeah.
I'm going with St. George to win that game.
Okay. Griff?
You guys have no guts. That's why I'm looking down on you. Draw.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. All right. All right, Punchy. Social clubs on a revival. They entertain PHC at Police Field.
Whoa. Hey, listen. That's something, man. That could be a title decider right there.
Yes.
That could be a title decider right there. Condition, and I said with social club, the way they played against Cougars, maybe it would be good if the weather was bad like that for them. But that's I still think PHC we'll probably pick them from this one. I'm going to PHC, you guys.
Okay. Griff?
Hey, it should be a 30-second time limit if you're picking favorite. PhD, that's an easy pick.
What'd you say? You're taking Social Club?
No, PhD.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Zebras as well because they need to stay in the hunt. If Dandytown and Devonshire Colts, the good thing is the Devonshire Cougars Dandytown game is only Friday night. Devonshire Colts and Paget is on Saturday, and PAC will play on Sunday. So, it should be very interesting how that matches up. Okay, Griff. On to the first division. Robin Hood host Southampton Rangers at PAC.
Robin
Hood. Okay, I'm gonna take Hood as well. And Punchy.
Hey, you know what, Mike? I'm going against you guys.
You can take Rangers?
I think Robin Hood. I think Rangers going to give them a good go on that game. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Rangers.
Okay. Well, Robin Hood need to keep winning because remember Somerset have that game in hand, and they're only 2 points ahead of Somerset. So,
hey, Earl, I think the football show needs drug testing.
Hey, don't you forget you went out on the limb and took Eagles, see?
Yes,
against the same team.
Right?
Against the same team. So what happens if Punchy wins? You and I need a drug test?
Yeah.
Hey, and we better go outside and see if calls are flying.
All right. Okay. Next match. Who went first? Punchy, you went first just now, right? No, you went last.
I went first.
Okay, so my turn. So Vasco and Wolves. I'm going to take Wolves. Punchy?
Oh, that's Wolves. Hands down with that.
Okay. Griff? Wolves. Vasco get that first point?
No, Wolves.
Okay. All right, Punchy. Last game. St. David's host Somerset Trojans.
Whoa. A tricky one, but I still can go with Somerset to get over the line with that.
Okay. Griff?
FCC.
Okay. So we all took the Trojans to win this match here. So, all right. So is there any one difference? Well, two differences.
Two differences.
Yeah, two differences. And that's the draw for you, Griff, and the win for you.
For Rangers.
Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. So now we're going to look at the coach and the player of the month of January. We want to look at the fact that
you sent them to, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent them to you guys.
Yes.
The coaches that are up for the month of January include. Here we go. Gary Adams.
Yes, under 17.
17 women's national team. Adams has earned significant praise for guiding the Bermuda under-17 women's team to the final round of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Under his leadership, the team displayed an attacking brand of football that resonated with local fans, highlighting a dominant 7-0 win over Suriname and a hard-fought draw against Panama. The next coach, Secoy Robinson. In January 2026, the PHC Zebras have played 4 matches in the Premier Division, recording 3 wins and 1 loss. Their strong performance during the period propelled them to the top of the league standings by the end of the month. And then the third coach is a previous winner, Ray Jones. Devonshire Colts enjoyed an unbeaten run in 2026, recording 3 victories and a hard-fought draw to surge to the summit of the Bermuda Premier Division standings. Okay, so those are the 3 up for the coach of the month. I'll let you go first, Griff.
Damn it! You guys help me. All right. It's my head is leading me towards Ray because Colts are on top, but my heart is with the ladies that have done something big. So I'll go with Gary Adams.
Okay. Punchy?
Well said, dear Griff. Well said. I would go with that too, especially on the international scene. I think I'm good with Mr. Adams on that. You know, the performance of the girls and you know, the hard-fought draw with Panama. So I'll go with Gary Adams for that, for sure.
Okay. All right. So it's 3 for 3. Congratulations to Gary Adams being named the January Coach of the Month. Now, to the players of the month. And we start off with Enrique Russell, who's enjoyed a prolific January 26, finding the net 5 times for the PHP Zebras across the league and cup competitions. His clinical form was a primary driver behind Zebras ascending to the top of the Premier Division table. Then we have Milan Gibbons-Thomas, emerged as one of the under-17 women's tournament standout finishers, leading the Bermuda scoring chart with 6 goals, including a spectacular 4-goal haul in the opening match against Suriname. And then the third player is Zico Lewis, who was a critical offensive force for Young Man Social Club, finding the net 3 times across the league play in January from only 2 matches. His performances were major highlights for Social Club during a month where the team fought several high-scoring battles in the Bermuda Premier Division. So the 3, Zico, Milan, and Enrique. Punchy.
I'm going to go with the national team. Yeah, I'm good with her. Yeah, I think that her performances and her goals for an effort were just, you know, I think Suriname, but it just seemed, even if you're playing against weak opposition, which I thought Suriname was, I think she's, you know, that some of the goals that she scored were wonderful. So I'm going with her.
Okay, all right. Not you, Griff. Hold on. You're going to be the decider, Griff.
Uh-oh. Well, I have to pick in my head.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Punchy. But my choice was going to be Enrique Russell for the scoring 5 times during the season against tough opposition that has put PHC in this mix of this title race. So, Griff, you're the decider.
And because I've seen it go online repeatedly, and he probably dashed Village's season and hopes for the league. He made that goal against no finish out of nothing. So I'll have to give it to Enrique Russell.
Okay, so congratulations to Gary Adams for being the coach of the month for January, and Enrique Russell for being the player of the month for January. So there you have it. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this evening. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Islandstats Football, a full slate of matches in both the Premier and First Division. And we'll bring it all to you right here.
What happened with the Portland games? Only one game got played?
Only one game got played.
The rest all due to weather, right?
Well, it was only 2 games due to be played. So the Sunday, that they weren't going to play on that day.
But I'd like to also mention the World Cup qualifiers for the under 17s.
Under 17s, yes.
Down in Honduras. I just think what a difficult situation. I thought that they played well, but there are still some things that I think I thought. Truly speaking, that'd be a great chance to possibly win that and move on.
Yeah.
You guys saw the game. I'm sure you guys did, but I watched both games. They were totally in control of the game against Guyana. Totally in control against Guyana. Honduras a little bit more difficult, but I still think that they were in for it because they had some chances. They had some early chances, and it didn't capitalize on it. Those games that it matters.
Yeah.
But as a country, again, we're growing. I still think it's ways to go. I really do think so. But we're now becoming in the conversation because for us, we played 2 games and we didn't score a goal.
Right.
1 goal. We only conceded 3.
Mm-hmm.
But were we the worst team? And should we have been at the bottom of that? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think more, I just think that we're going to start looking. I think we just got to be better prepared for those games. We're going to be more prepared. I really think so, you guys.
I think
kudos to the coaching staff, but those, when you look at Honduras, and this is another point that people have that discussion about. Did you guys, when you looked at their coaching staff, and did you see they had like almost 7 people involved with the coaching staff? Yeah,
they treat. You watch a lot of other countries. They treat their youngsters the same way they treat their national teams, having every resources available to them.
That's very good.
That's
right.
I was just getting ready to make. I think once you make it past under 15 and you get to the other international age groups, it's just like you're almost at senior level because there's more. It didn't happen, I say, 20 years ago, but with the competition and the nature of the pro game, you have more 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds that are playing, signing pro contracts and are contributing. So at under 17 level, you have some players that are on the cusp of being professional. So it's not like little boys playing. Some of these guys are men that are starting their career.
Yeah, I agree with you. There was a number 11, the winger, the left winger, that scored the first goal. My son was telling me that he's actually signed. He's on the books of a professional team in Honduras, one of the top teams. And 17 years old. 17 years old. But again, it's for our country, it's difficult because, well, not difficult, but our preparation. I think it's got to be our preparation for that game. And remember, it was only 3 teams involved, you guys. Only 3 teams. Yeah. So what would you put it down to? It's there's up for debate, coaching, or will we real prepared for that? There's questions to be asked about that. But I think the performances of the team and the way they played, there's a beginning. The way they played, they looked the second game, they looked a little tired. they look a little, like they seem to be, Honduras is, of course, a Latin American team, which we all know how they play, how they approach the game, the passing, the movement. But I still think that, I was expecting more from them, but I think we could have, there's a possibility that there were chances that I thought we could have come out on winning that group.
First, yeah,
I really think so.
I think a lot of times Bermuda play on emotion. The youngsters would have been disappointed they lost to Guyana that first game, and they would have carried that into that second game with a bit of anxiety of we have to win this game and we have to score, we have to beat them by 2 goals and so forth. And a lot of times it for us, because we're not in that position on a regular basis, we tend to not be able to overcome that mountain. You know what I mean? It's a lot like that. If you look at the under 17 girls, when they won that first game, they were on such an emotional high, regardless of what else was going to happen. They went into that second game like they were warriors. You know what I mean? Just off of the emotion of it. Where the boys would have, when they went down, and it was a heartbreaking one because they dominated the game so much, just could not put away their chances. Guyana got that one chance and score, and then you were racing now. We're doing things that we weren't doing before to create the chances, and we just after that goal, if we had 1 or 2 chances after that, that was it. But we created so many more chances before that now we're coming from behind, we're chasing. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of that has to do with it too.
So one thing I wanted to ask, did you guys watch any of the games on TV?
Yeah.
Watching both games.
So
Both games.
what was surprising to me, because I was at my local community club, workmen, so everybody watching the game, finding it, like, hey, where is it? We kept looking. Disney Plus has the contract with CONCACAF, and I was surprised. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So they have a major network that they're partners with. So as CONCACAF has moved light years in the last 20 years. So
what's so good about it is now it's being, you can watch it, you can analyze the game. Yeah. You can see what points were weak at, what are we weak at, what we're not good at, why things happen. But at least you're visually seeing our pluses and our minuses in these games, the international matches. I think you can see
all of the other teams and other groups as well.
Yes.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good start. But again, the girls, it was kudos to the girls now who's they're going on to another level now. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different level now that they're going on to. So
Costa Rica in a few weeks, right?
Oh yes, that's a senior national team, I think.
No, the senior national team's playing at home.
Yeah, against Costa Rica. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The
under 17s are playing in Costa Rica, I think.
Yes, they're playing in Costa Rica. Yes, that's right, and that's going to be
the draw for those matches will be on Wednesday at noon.
Oh, yeah.
So we will know who we're playing, and then they'll have the dates and times right after that. So come Wednesday at noon, the under 17 girls will know who they'll be facing.
And they'll
be playing in Costa Rica. That's what in Costa Rica. Okay, I got you. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I found out that my favorite lemonade syrup at Workman's is the mother of Milan Otterbridge. So I was like, oh wow. So we had a good discussion about women's football with a few lemonades.
You know what? Punchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going past his bedtime. All right.
Yeah. It's his bedtime, not football.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes.
We'll be back next week with another edition of the Islandstats.com football show. Have a good week.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.